All right, y'all. So tomorrow is the big day, about 24 hours away from the official part 2 LR reveal stream. I mean, at the time this video goes up, we're within 24 hours. And I think during this time, the boundaries might actually be out in the game. I think it's very possible they had the stream, the Stoka now, and then, oh, in the middle of the stream, the banner comes out because the OST in game is already going to change to, the Gogeta movie theme and everything like that. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe the banners drop at the usual time, which is about 9 p.m. Pacific time. Either way, tomorrow will basically be the day that the banners come out, at least in US times. And I did go ahead and make my final concepts for the LR Super Gogeta, LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and the Goku Frieza. I spent a few hours crafting them, making sure that everything looks good to me. I mean, at the end of the day, they're concepts, but this is what I would like to see from the characters more or less. Obviously, these characters are so, distinct at this point that it's going to be very hard to tell what they're going to be like. But I did go ahead and I think make some pretty good general guesses about what's going to be happening. But if you guys have your own concepts or your own ideas of what you want to see from the units, let me know in the comment section below. Let's hop right in, and I think we'll start off with the big boy himself, Super Gogeta. So we do know this character is Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel, and then he's going to be able to tag into Super Saiyan Goku Angel eventually. Basically the same version of this guy, just reversed, where it's Vegeta first and then Goku later on. They did confirm that in the stream with the name of the character. Now, in terms of their leader skill, I do think that they're going to be the successors category leader as the Dokkan Fest character. A lot of people won't really like that, but at the end of the day, this is the best case scenario for the successors leader in terms of this character has other two leader skills, right? There's other two categories this character leads compared to if it was like Goku and Frieza. If they led successors, right? This character, they led successors as the only leader skill they have, that would blow because the successors team is not really a good team right now. However, if we, get a team like, where there's a bunch of other strong teams tied to it, it's not the worst thing in the world. So that's why I gave them the leader skill. This is the Vegeta representation, right? The Goku representation, I put Kamehameha. And then for the Gogeta representation, I put movie heroes. I think that's kind of the idea behind this leader skill, where Earth Protecting Heroes is the Goku representation, Pure Saiyans is the Vegeta representation, and then Fuse Fighters is, of course, the representation of Vegeta, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Then I think the additional 50% buffs, I just gave Pure Saiyan Fuse Fighters. It could be like, maybe just a fusion category, right? Just the normal fusion, like the dance characters. But I think that they could just add Fuse Fighters, and making this a wider range right there would also make up for the fact that the successors team is definitely not on the level of Earth Protecting Heroes. So I think this would still be an overall good leader skill. It would get all the Gokus on here, basically. It would get all the Vegetas on here. And then, of course, it would get all the Gogetas on here. So all these characters would get the full buff. I think that would be really nice. S tier Gogeta getting a 220%, for example, right? Just some extra characters. So there we go there. This character, in terms of the Vegeta, I did design him very similarly to the Goku, not the Goku part, this Vegeta's part, right? And the reason why is because I think this guy starting off, him being a really good slot 1 character early on in the fight would be really, really nice, especially if it's like, oh, they want us to run the Vegeta and the Gogeta together. If that is going to be a thing, then hey, we'll be able to actually get these two together as a rotation, this character in slot 1. So again, I designed them kind of like mirrored, a little different, right? These characters usually are mirrored, especially the Gogeta and Vegeta cards, right? So there is the stacking defense, 50% on 18 key, 12 key is only 30%, right? Then they both greatly raise attack for 1 turn. 200% attack and defense, 50% reduction, 2 key per type key sphere. Then the support for the 30 or the 50%, I gotta get used to that. Pure Saiyans or Fuse Fighters, key 1 and 40% defense. Again, pretty much similar to Vegeta here, except this guy is actually not providing attack, he's providing defensive support. So there is a little bit of the difference there, but everything else is pretty much the same. Now, I actually didn't give this guy a multiplicative attack boost. I can't even speak, man. I gave him this instead. For 1 turn, he has an additional 20% damage reduction and then guaranteed additional super attack will allow him to tank a lot easier earlier on than he does, of course, stack over the battle. When he receives an attack, he gets 200% defense and 20% damage reduction. So we see already here, starting turn 1, this guy's at 90% damage reduction. What's it called? Just like straight off the bat, and actually didn't give him guard. Okay, no, he does have guard as the first attacker in the turn right here. But you can see again, he has all these similarities to what the Vegeta's character. I kind of build him in mind, kind of like Tech Broly, where it's like turn 1, Tech Broly has that mass reduction. Then of course after you transform, you know, he'll lose a little bit of that. So this character will go from 90% with guard to 70% with guard, which is definitely not that big of a drop, especially once we, well, it is a big drop, but you're gonna start getting these defense stacks, right? When at 20k or more, he does launch an additional super attack, and then I gave him this. He gives all allies 40% attack when attacking. So him as a slot 1 character, he's gonna attack. This is gonna be a multiplicative 40% attack boost, which is, again, I'm thinking about this guy next to this guy, basically, where this character is going to be sitting in slot 2, providing a lot of damage early on, right? He's also going to not be taking damage himself once he supers, but that 40% multiplicative buff will go into this, basically, and this guy will do some pretty good numbers on top of what he's already doing. Of course, again, in the first slot specifically, he has guard. He has a high chance to evade enemy attack temporarily on top of this, and then for the 4th turn, he can reverse into Super Saiyan Goku Angel. So, again, this character, I kind of made more of a defensive supporting variant of this guy, where this guy, I think he's closer to doing some extra damage with this extra attack right there. This guy doesn't have like as much damage destruction. This guy does want to build up a little. I think I kind of like made it so, you know, this guy also doesn't have this active skill, which would give him additional attack, right? That's kind of the idea, where this guy would do way less attack than that Vegeta, but he's focused on that supporting kind of role right there. So there we go. He even has 1 less additional super attack. Actually, I'm a liar. Well, on turn 1, he does have the same amount, but after that, he will have 1 less super attack, right? Now, this guy does have an active skill. I gave both the Goku and Vegeta active skills, and again, if you guys know how these characters work, you can only use 1 of the active skills specifically, so that's just kind of how it is. I just gave it to this guy just cause, right? Now, in terms of his active skill, I made it Otherworld Masters True Defense. You know, that's going to be Pycon. I just made it the EGO Pycon active skill. I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right? From turn 4, you could delay single targeted enemies attack for 1 turn. Just a Ghost Usher. Why not? You know, just give him a Ghost Usher, man. That's perfectly fine, wouldn't it be? Just a little Ghost Usher there. So there, that is, right, with this guy specifically. And of course, I think it makes more sense that Goku would be the one to initiate the fusion dance, and then Vegeta will be like, I'm gonna refuse, and then Pycon comes in like, you better fuse, bro, and then just like gets owned. Well, he doesn't get owned, he'll just scream, right? That's kind of how it is. Just to have it there, right? I mean, they could really make it the fusion as well, but I think we could see Pycon in here potentially, which could be really cool. Now, beyond this, we do have the Goku variant. So this is Super Saiyan Goku Angel plus Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel, which is, again, when you're switched into Goku. Now, of course, the Goku is the reverse, and he's, again, similarly built to what this guy's doing, where he's greatly stacking attack here, raising attack normally 12 key, the defense raise 50% for the turn, and he basically does literally everything opposite, right? He does have the same here as a Goku, but he is providing the attack support now. Now, I'll give him something interesting, because this is a slot 2 or slot 3 character. He gets 70% defense to all allies until he attacks. Then he gets 20% damage reduction when he attacks. So, again, unlike this guy, who, again, just by being in slot 2, he has this 20% reduction, right? This guy does have to technically attack for, so this wouldn't apply towards AoEs. However, this guy does have to attack for this extra reduction on top of that, while this character, you know, he just kind of has this flat 50% and then can get up to 70%. Now, the reason why I made this Goku, like, I guess you could say just better in terms of the damage reduction, is because this Goku eventually you can give him the guard ability and the active skill from the Vegeta, or it's either that or you're fusing to Gogeta anyway, so that's why I just gave him the extra damage reduction. I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Now, he's basically, again, similar. 10 more keys, super effective. 20 more key, he's launching an additional guaranteed super attack. As a second or third attacker, another additional guaranteed super. Then I gave him the high chance to dodge as well, because why not? I mean, I guess with that, he doesn't need the extra 20% reduction, but Remember, you could get rid of this. Does he need this? Like, is that a bit much? I don't know. It doesn't matter. This could be the best unit of the game. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, no, that's kind of the general idea, man. I guess he doesn't need the 70% per se. But I mean, it's like this is the guy you're tagging into turn 4, basically. You want, so I guess given the survivability for like, because like, think about this character is that the idea is this guy is going to be strong early on, then eventually you tag into Vegeta. While this guy is going to be a character you tag into later on in the fight, so making him weak defensively is kind of weird, right? But yeah. Now, he has the Fusion Active skill, same as Vegito's, can be activated from the 5th turn, and it lasts for 4 turns. Now, surprise, and Gogeta busted. Whoa, who shocked there? 12 key super attack effect, which is the Ultra Super. Greatly raises attack and defense for the turn, causes Mega Colossal damage. Fully recovers HP, 300% stats, 3 key per keys retained, guard 60% reduction. Now, this is where he starts to differ from Vegito, because this guy does not have counters. I didn't give him counters. He launches 2 additional Ultra Supers instead of just 1. Then he gives Pure Saiyans or Fused Fighters, category allies, key 2, and then 40% attack and defense. For each attack he performs, he gets 20% attack up to 100%. Then for every attack he receives, he gets 10% defense within the turn and 7% reduction. This reduction will carry over to the next turn he's fused. So essentially, you get a couple of hits with this guy, and he is giving himself up to 100% damage reduction. With the 60% damage reduction, I believe you would need to basically get hit about 6 times to really max out to 100%. But essentially, when you get hit 3 times with this guy, he's at 80% reduction with guard, and basically nothing is going to be killing this guy regardless. So there you go with him. For 4 turns, he has the Scouter effect and then guaranteed crits. Then I gave him this. Vegeto's doing so much damage. So what if he just gets 1000% attack temporarily when keys 24? So that's only specifically on the Ultra Super attack, or when you use the active skill. Again, it's temporary. This guy's not going to struggle to get 24 key, right? I guess in very niche situations you could potentially have troubles with it, but probably not. No, I mean, I guess maybe you can give this guy like Rainbow Orb changing, but there's a lot of Rainbow Orb changers that would be good with him, like Tech Gogeta, for example. So yeah, no, I think this is very fair. Just to give him that one big attack that just like does mega damage is kind of the idea behind it. Just to make it just a very silly thing, 1000% attack. Because I mean, you look at it and it's like, wow, that's really overpowered. But then you see Vegito could do like 40 million counters, and then he could do like 10 of them. And it's like, well, maybe Gogeta getting like 1000% attack is not going to be the worst thing in the world. Plus, this guy doesn't actually have a target skill or a team protector mechanic. I guess he has a scouter, but like he doesn't have that team protector. So I think trading that off for this is a fair thing to do, right? On top of, you know, him just having this extra damage here in general. Even with this, I mean, I don't know if he would hit us hard. Maybe this could be 500%. But I don't know. Just the idea is that it's gonna be like you're gonna see like a massive attack, something like this. Like you'll see like 150 mil attack stat, and then he just hits the enemy, right? Active skill, Soul Punisher. The effect causes ultimate damage. All let's get key 12, and then activates the domain for 1 turn. So I tied the domain to the active skill specifically instead of the transformation. A lot of people are saying this guy should get a domain. I do agree. I think a superclass domain would be pretty good. But to make sure that it doesn't lock this guy and the other Gogeta out of transforming, I made it a 1-turn domain that's on specifically his Soul Punisher active skill. The domain is the Soul Punisher Dimension. Now, we see this guy's art, like when he throws a Soul Punisher, like his card art, like the background turns black and it's just the Soul Punisher energy like beaming around him, and like he's shooting the Soul Punisher out like it's a Ki Blast. So imagine like Soul Punisher Dimension like that. Then all allies 10% attack and defense and 10% reduction. So this is technically like somewhat a team protector, but yeah, no, this is what the domain effect is. So yeah, no, that's why I did that. So he's doing everything else. He has a domain. This domain applies to this. So he's actually starting off at 70% damage reduction if you want to go ahead and not wait to use the active skill. So then at that point, this guy only needs to get hit like, what, 3 times or 100%, he's just like invincible. So yeah, no, that's the idea behind him. I mean, just a reverse Vegito. Let me know what you guys think. Did I go too far? Is he too strong? Or is he just basically what you expected or what you will expect? This is very fun to make this Gogeta specifically, but this is not it. We still do have the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and we still do have the Goku Frieza. Honestly, the most fun character I made was low-key the Goku Frieza, but let's talk about Gohan here. So, I mean, if you guys want, just to preface this, I basically Frankensteined Beast Gohan and Int Bro. So we'll talk about it here. Leader skill. I think he's going to lead bottom parent child. Is it going to be busted? Yes, it will be. Key 3 and 220% stats as a Carnival LR. He greatly stacks attack and then greatly raises defense, causes mega colossal damage on both the 18 and 12 key. Gohan is a character where we've seen Super Saiyan 2 Gohans have mega colossal on both 18 and 12 keys, so I think that they could very easily do the same for this guy. Passive skill. Basically just Beast Gohan. Key 8 and 40% crit chance and damage reduction rate for 5 turns. Again, I mean, this is literally just ripped from Beast Gohan. Honestly, I just think it's a perfect intro. It's also the exact same thing for LR Future Gohan, where if you take a look at, I guess, I don't think it's the exact same thing for LR Future Gohan, but if we take a look here at, I wonder, will this guy link with LR Future Gohan? Well, not really. I guess we'll go to Goku's family. These Gohan units, like LR Future Gohan and Beast Gohan, they get these intros that give them like 40% reduction. Where is Future Gohan? He just released on a weird time in Global, is he? That the global timeline is just so messed up, man. Yeah, you see right here, damage reduction rate 40% for 5 turns, damage reduction rate 40%. I'm just keeping that theme where it's like 40% reduction. I gave him the crit 2 like Beast has. Key 5, I just give him 300% stats. I mean, Beast has 250%, so yeah, just 300% stats. 30% reduction, so with the first 5 turns, this guy's actually at 70% reduction, plus guard, and key 2 per keys for obtained. When attacking, he hits 258% attack, which is a very huge number, and then 20% crit. So essentially, he's getting 60% critical hit rate. For the first 5 turns, he has 70% reduction plus guard for the first 5 turns. Rather raising defense for the turn, yeah, you know, he's just kind of that guy, right? When he receives an attack, he gets an additional 20% crit chance and then a guaranteed additional super for 4 turns. So that 60% crit chance goes up to 80% and then 80% defense. So yeah, that's a multiplicative defense as well. That's where that's going to pop in. Again, basically the same as Beast Gohan here. And I think that's the Sky might just be designed as Beast Gohan better. Now this is where the Int Broly comes in. It's kind of the reverse actually. When a character or an ally attacking in the same turn is KO'd for the first 5 turns from start of battle, revives at 58% HP recovered. And keep in mind, this is the first 5 turns, not from 5 turns onward, like in Broly is. That's kind of where I was thinking, okay, we have so many characters who at this point, by like turn 5 onward, you're good to go. You're completely safe. Beast Gohan, I guess Beast Gohan's, you know, active target skill is turn 3, right? But, you know, we have even like the Tech Vegito is a character that can protect your team from turn 5 onward, and Broly's a character that can protect your team from turn 5 onward, right? Probably like, you can even count like in Blue Evolution Vegeta, you'll get these 5 attacks that are aimed at him by the time you actually get to the end of the fight. Even like S-Tier Blue, not Physical Blue Gogeta, like so many of these character protection mechanics are late into the fight. So I was like, hey, let's give this guy an early version of it, right? And since it is technically a limited revive skill, that's why I gave him these extra mechanics, which is, again, basically just mixing Beast Gohan's passive plus Int Broly's passive, where after doing 5 or more attacks, or if his or an ally's revive skill is activated, 58% defense, critical hits guaranteed, and then another additional super attack. After receiving 8 or more attacks, or after the character's revival skill is activated, 30% reduction, all allies key 3. Then he gives bottom parent child 58% stats, excluding himself within his own attacking turn. So if you get his revive off early on, you're able to get all of these abilities. Other than that, you're still guaranteed to get these abilities even if his own revive doesn't proc. which, you know, I think fits a lot of people's complaints where it's like, oh, I feel like I'm forced to use this revive if I want to see this, or so a lot of these characters' passives are locked behind, like in Broly. I think one thing about in Broly is that all, like, I don't even see, like, I barely see this, man, and this even I just like not even common, even with the new fights. So giving an alternative way to actually see these parts of the passive, I think is really cool, and especially because his, you know, not domain. There's so many mechanics now. His revival skills only turn limited for the first 5 turns. This is just where you're able to feel completely safe early on, which I think is could be a very huge thing, right? That's kind of what I want to see with this Gohan. I'm thinking like a fighter that's basically at his strongest early on, but could still be quite good later on in the fights. And even after his intro runs out, he'll still have guard plus 60% reduction. It won't be as strong as the guard plus 70%, right? But at that point, you can get Super Saiyan 4 Goku out, who fits his team. And it's like, oh, this guy walks, he still have guard plus 70% reduction anyway. So that's kind of the thought process there behind this guy. Father-Son Kamehameha, just kind of basic. It's why I have him stacking attack so it could do damage. Just a turn 5 active skill, all attacks become crits during the turn, massive attack raise, ultimate damage. Just very basic, right, with the active skill. I didn't really think that there was much that needs to be said about like what this active skill should do. I mean, could you say maybe you want a Goku on the team or a Bonaparte and child category ally on rotation? Maybe. Not that big of a deal though. Yeah, no, this I mean, I think they're just, honestly, Gohan is like gonna be made just straightforward good. I think is kind of what they're gonna do with this guy since he's just a turn 1 character. Now, Goku Frieza, we'll talk about next. They're the most fun I had, honestly, in terms of making these concepts. I had a lot of fun with this Goku Frieza. You see, I have a bunch of units up here where I kind of got inspiration from. Goku Frieza Angel. I got a little bit of inspiration from these two, and then Blue Evolution. And these will all kind of play a role into what I was thinking about when designing this character. So that'll make a lot of people happy. And I think if that's the case where this character is designed to kind of pull these 3, like their kits kind of a little together better, that could be really nice. Now, I made a Battle of Fate 220%. I guess the only thing about this guy is that he's actually not on the Battle of Fate team, but Goku Frieza would fit his leader skull. I made a Battle of Fate just because these two fit the team. And Battle of Fate could be a really good 220%. So Frieza here raises attack 12 key, raises defense for the turn 18 key, great chance to stun. His 18 key super attack effect massively raises attack, greatly raises defense for the turn with mega colossal damage. And then I added this 7% attack and defense for all allies for 7 turns. So they're providing a multi-turn, multiplicative super attack effect support. That is a lot to say, and if you don't understand much about Dokkan, you won't know what I'm talking about. But essentially, it'll be as if everyone gets extra defense on their super attack effect, which is nice. And that'll be for multiple turns. 7 turns is a lot. I kind of just kept that 7 theme, and I feel like it's not like that much of a number to be mega game changing, but it'll be really good. Now, the entrance animation. I did give him an entrance animation because I do think that the animation that was shown to us where Frieza and Goku are back to back, that's like when that's when Goku recruited Frieza. So I think it makes a lot of sense to have the entrance animation be that rather than an animation when you could actually like later on in the fight, because I think you'll be able to tag between Goku and Frieza at the beginning of the fight. So that's why I did this as an entrance animation. Meets up with Goku, performs reversible exchange, 77% attack and defense, and a 7-turn scouter, be it before or after the exchange. So this buff will stick through whether or not you're in Goku or Frieza. Key 7, 177%, 60% reduction, great chance to crits. When Frieza attacks, he gets another Key 7, 177% attack and defense, and then 17% reduction. Again, just very basic and good. Nothing really much else to say there. When you're collecting Key Spheres as a second or third attacker, he gets another 77% attack and defense, an additional which has a 77% chance to become a super. Then this. Wicked Bloodline or Reps of Universe 7, 10% extra damage reduction and 70% defense, which does exclude himself because this guy after he attacks will get 77% damage reduction, which is a really huge number. But this is what I was thinking about this guy. Damage reduction support. We're seeing Super Saiyan 4 Goku has that. I think that we could see one of these other Part 2 LRs have this. If it's the Goku Frieza, again, this Frieza gets 20% here, 20% here, 30% here. That's 70% reduction. Frieza's already pretty good. So this would be giving Frieza a 220% leader skill, and then he would get extra defense and 10% extra reduction. The reason why I gave the extra defense is because I don't think this Frieza will have big bad bosses. As much as I want to cope and hope that they'll do it, I do not think they'll give him big bad bosses. So to make up for the fact that he won't have big bad bosses, I put 70% defense here, plus a 10% reduction. This will also lead to, I think eventually we're going to be getting a lot of Wicked Bloodline buffs this year. I think this could be a really strong year for Wicked Bloodline. STR Cooler EZA is upcoming. Physical Meta Cooler EZA is upcoming. Golden Frieza EZA is upcoming. We have Tech Golden Frieza Super EZA upcoming. This guy needs an EZA. This guy needs an EZA. We could 100% use a new Namek Frieza still, like a transforming final form to full power Namek Frieza. There's another character who still needs an EZA as well, and that is this Angel Golden Frieza transforming card. This guy is like the second oldest. Actually, I think he is the oldest Dokkan Fest without an EZA. So eventually he's gonna happen. So I think Wicked Bloodline could get a lot of help there. When Q's 24, when attacking, we're activating the active skill. Just more attack, 77% and critical hit chance. So that's kind of what this guy is doing. And Goku is actually very similar. It didn't really change much. I gave Goku just a massive attack stack here. And then to make up, obviously to compensate for that, he actually doesn't do anything on his 12 key in terms of stacking. He still does give the 7% attack and defense to all allies. And again, he's the same here with the base stats, same as stats when basically in the second phase. But unlike Frieza, this is when Goku receives an attack. So Goku's actually going to be a slot 1/slot 3 character. When he collects key spheres in slot 1 or slot 3, 77% attack and defense, launches an additional which has a 77% chance to be super. This guy, instead of Wicked Bloodline, he gives Goku family this buff. Now, I was thinking about making it lower, like 7% instead. I changed my mind about that. I feel like it just feels kind of like silly to just decrease their damage reduction for Reps Universe 7 as well. Let me know what y'all think though. Like maybe to compensate for this guy being slot 1, he doesn't need to give as much reduction. Yeah, I'm gonna change this 7%. Just because Goku's family is a way stronger team, and it's like this guy will be able to be slot 1, so your other floating characters don't necessarily need as much reduction. And of course, this is excluding him, right? So got to keep that in mind too. Same thing when Keys 24, 77% attack. So again, you guys could see this guy's over time, they're stacking up attack, they're making the team stronger, they will make each other stronger, and they're kind of like helping other characters. I gave them an active skill that could be activated on turn 7. Can be activated from the 7th turn to start battle. But I think I made this the best active skill in the game to trade off for it. Massively raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage, disables all enemy actions within the turn. All allies get key 17, 17% attack and defense, and then a 17% chance to perform an additional super attack from one turn. Character will be stunned. And the idea about this is they knock out Jiren with this active skill, right? With this attack, Jiren gets eliminated. They also get eliminated. And it's 17 who's left on the battlefield. So that's why I made it all 17 themed. They won't be able to attack, right? And you will probably just switch into Goku, right? That'd make the most sense. Where Goku could be slot 1, and he's not going to attack, but he'll still be as strong as he is defensively. Frieza will also not be able to get his buffs anyways. And then there are other characters will finish the fight off, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. And that's why I made it turn 7. It also matches with the Team Universe 7 theme. That's kind of like a major theme behind this kit. Just a bunch of Team Universe 7. 7s everywhere. Just makes a lot of sense. I think no matter what, we're going to see a ton of 7s here. that's my idea behind what this guy could do specifically, though. And I think, you know, this Goku Frieza has potential to be a really, really interesting character. Frieza supporting Extreme Class, Goku supporting Super Class. You know, they'll be on a bunch of different teams. It could be really interesting. Maybe this could even be just Extreme Class 7% damage reduction, and Goku gives Super Class 7% reduction or something, right? Would that be that bad? No, like Extreme Class or Reps 7%. That sounds pretty good, actually. That sounds great. That actually, I kind of like that better. I kind of do like that better. Extreme Class. Wait, chat. I think I kind of like that better than Super Class, which would obviously make this Goku's part stronger, but oh yeah, I cooked. Yeah. Anyways, that is the concepts for all three of them. I've been sitting here talking for half an hour. Oh my goodness. And now I have to upload this video. But yeah, again, the idea is that like this guy at the end of the fight, especially, like he will have a slot 1 with Goku. Goku will give him extra reduction. And yeah, that's pretty much the thing there. Goku would also activate his unit super attack, right? An ally whose name includes Goku. And this character, I mean, I didn't think about how this would work specifically, but I'm thinking this would, rather than this being like another additional super attack, this would, since it's in the passive, it applies to something like this. Where on that turn, Vegeta's 30% becomes 47%. Right? That's kind of the idea behind it, but rather than being another super, and it would apply basically just to the passive, so it wouldn't infect like the or inflict hidden potential system. I guess I should have noted that earlier, but that's why I have Vegeta up, and obviously that's why I have Namegoku and Frieza up, because obviously this guy would buff these guys and make them a lot better. But yeah, that's my idea for these 3 Part 2 LRs. So we'll know what they do. I mean, are they probably going to be better than what I'm doing? Maybe. But let me know what y'all thinking. Thanks y'all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.